Okay, the microphone seems to have a mind of its own. Hopefully it's working now. One more video tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about Clovis and something a little controversial. Maybe it's not so controversial. I don't know. I haven't been reading up lately on the Clovis technology thing. But anyway, it's a little bit unusual to see a point style spread so far in so many areas in so short a period of time. I think it was like 300 years or so from North America to South America, among many different cultures and peoples. I think maybe it was homogeneous at that time and it was just one people. But anyway, it spread to different areas very quickly. It popped up in many different areas. Now, the way I see it, one possibility for this could be that the Clovis fluting and the grinding and the narrow sides and the little auriculate ears are all simply a hafting strategy and not a point type. And what I mean by that is, at the time that this hafting strategy came into existence, there were already blades of different sizes and shapes with different flaking patterns already in existence in different parts of the country, right? Because you look at some Clovises in one part of the country, they're going to be different as far as blade shape and blade type and flaking than other parts of the country in both North and South America. Some are very wide, some are very narrow, some are very long, some are very short. Some tips almost form a needle tip, like some examples in Florida that I've seen. Some are rounded over, almost dull looking, but they're very sharp, of course. And everything in between. So what I'm thinking is, as a possibility, and this is controversial, I know, that since these blades are already in existence, it didn't take very long for the hafting strategy for this. This looks like a cool idea to flute the base and grind it and make it more narrow and put these little ears on it. Let's try that. So everybody tried it during that period of time. And I guess it worked, but it didn't really give them an extra advantage, I guess. So it phased out pretty quickly as well. So that's why I think that Clovis was so widespread. It's not a point type, it's a hafting strategy and that everyone tried at one time. And some people did retain the flutes for a long period of time. Some people retained the constricted sides and the grinding and the auriculate ears into other time periods for hundreds and sometimes thousands of years, like the Pedernales points in Texas. The early archaics, it ranged from early archaic through most of the archaic, and some of the Pedernales points have a fluting style to them. Maybe not ground on the sides, but they retained that hafting strategy where you'd flute or you'd send up thinning flakes from the base and make it concave as a hafting strategy. Okay, so that's something to think about that I think might be a good conversation topic. I've got a lot of Clovis casts, and I've been studying Clovis. The interesting thing about Clovis is somehow the archaeologists got it right when it comes to the classifying it as a type, right? But if they look at other points that have the same, let's say, basic hafting strategy spread over a large area of the country, or even in both North and South America, they don't classify those points as the same. Like an expanding base stemmed point is common after Clovis in many, many areas, but they don't call it expanding base technology. Somehow everybody is, even if they have exactly the same type of expanding base on their points, they're named something different locally. But Clovis, for some reason, because of the base, is all Clovis. It's very strange, I think. Either eventually we're going to isolate each individual area and call them different Clovis types, or we're going to have to reevaluate the technologies that existed for expanding bases and contracting bases and maybe lobed bases that existed across culture in many different areas of the country during the same time period, just like Clovis, spread wide and far and wide, but yet they're called differently or named as different types in different areas because maybe the blade's different, maybe the flaking looks different. They're called by local names. So something's going to, I think eventually something's going to give there. If it doesn't, then it's just going to be one of those weird things about archaeology that we'll never know why. Okay.